Hello, hi, welcome to the Glowing
Hi.
Skin series. Yes, I'm Christine Ho, and today I have Carly Fraser. She's the founder of the website Live Love Fruit. So, hello.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, of course.
Um,
Yes, so tell us your own personal story.
um, so I guess like back when I was younger, I wasn't that healthy. Like I ate it, not like a lot of junk food. Like my mom made me like pretty decent meals, but like I guess my metabolism was just slower than my sister's. And she was always super tiny, but I got a little bit bigger throughout my teen years. And then when I was like 15, I started to exercise. And then by the time I was like 16, I was eating a little bit healthier. I was only vegetarian at that point. And then by the time I was 19, 20, I went vegan. And then right soon after that, I went raw vegan because I just wanted to try it out and like see see what I would gain by doing it. And it ended up being pretty awesome. Like I really enjoy being uh, raw vegan, and it's improved my life in multiple ways. And I kind of sprouted Live Love Fruit off of that, like off of wanting to help people get better. And it has like lots of people email me with like testimonials almost of how my website has helped them get better and healthier. So it's pretty cool to hear that.
Oh, no, that's great. That's definitely
Yeah.
very uplifting and heartwarming whenever you get to read testimonials from other people that
Yeah.
influenced and impacted them so positively. That's always a great thing.
Yeah, totally. It's pretty like it makes me inspired to keep going with what I'm doing.
Yeah, so how did it also relate to your skin?
um Going raw, like my skin, like I've never really had any issues with acne, but like when went off I went on birth control when I was pretty young to help with um like really intense period. Like they were really heavy, and um I went on the pill and I was on it for 7 years, and like everything was fine, my skin was fine. And then when I went off of it, it took like 8 months for my period to come back. And when my period did come back, my skin was like insane. Like it was ridiculous. And um, there was a lot of blemishes. And I think that uh, as a result of like my hormones rebalancing, that was just like the end result. Like, because you're basically given like synthetic hormones when you're on birth control. So when your body's trying to readjust, uh, it's obviously going to have some things that come up like blemishes, which is what happens when your hormones are off balance. And so uh, I think being raw really helped my skin clear up because it only took like 3 to 4 months for it to completely clear. But like during those months, I was really concerned. Like uh, I didn't know if it was ever going to go away or if my skin was going to be like that forever. But thankfully, I think I definitely attribute being raw and vegan um, to having those issues resolved in themselves. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but how did you start Live Love Fruit?
Um, I started it by, I first created a Facebook page. And I think at the time, Facebook was also kind of just getting started around then. And so it was kind of like really like all their algorithms were set up in a way that pages were seen a lot. Like this is before they had to put advertisements in and make pages pay for views to their page. So my stuff got seen a lot. It got shared a lot. It became super popular in a short period of time. And one of my friends suggested that I started a website based around my passion for educating people on the benefits of fruit and vegetables. So I did that, and then that's kind of how I created my blog and how it is today.
Oh, that's great. Yes. So,
Yeah.
what are you most proud of from 2017?
For 2017, I think I'm I've been working a lot harder on my website. I'm working on an ebook that I want to get out eventually, and um, I think just getting testimonials from people about how much I'm helping them just inspires me to keep going with what I'm doing, and just doing more research and just finding um, like websites on the internet, like scholarly sources for like what I'm writing about, and like even going back and like updating articles. um I think, yeah, it's a lot of work and I do it all by myself, so I think that's something to be proud of, I guess.
No, no, that is
Yeah,
very much to be proud of. And
yeah,
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 definitely. It takes a
yeah,
lot of, so that's something, yeah, definitely I
yeah.
would say be proud of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so what are you most excited about for 2018?
um um for 2018, I think I'm still working on my ebook, so I'm still trying to get through that. I'm kind of going to revamp my website a little bit, so my homepage is going to be different, and potentially getting back into health coaching people, because I did that in the past, but I never really promoted it on my website that much. So um, I think people would be interested in that because I've been approached by it, but I've just been too busy. So I think just prioritizing my time in 2018 is like a major thing that I'm looking forward to, because hopefully more things will get done.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So eating a raw vegan diet actually seems difficult, especially for someone who doesn't do it, you know?
Yeah.
So, how would you, what were some like, secrets, tips, especially for someone starting out, what would you say to them to help them understand how to go about it?
hmm I think the most important thing is to not like go cold turkey into raw veganism. Like, um, I didn't go cold turkey. Some people have, but just by like even swapping out your breakfast for like a raw meal, like a smoothie, and even like including more raw foods throughout your day. So if you want to have a cooked dinner, maybe like include a salad with it, and then eventually you can just like weed your way off of the cooked food and until you're fully onto raw. And also to remember to like eat enough, like sufficient calories. Like I'd like to use Chronometer online, which is you can basically track what you're eating throughout the day, and it lets you know like if you're reaching your goals that you want to meet. So I think a lot of people who go into raw veganism don't eat enough, and then they're like constantly hungry. Um, but yeah, like just eating enough calories from like fruit, and um, yeah, that would be my most biggest advice.
Oh, yes, that's so great to know. So, yeah, so is it more expensive because you have to eat more?
Um, Not really, no. Like I remember looking at like the price of a two chicken breasts the other day, like organic, and it was like $45, and I was like, wow, like that's that's crazy. Like two chicken breasts, like that's so much money, like that's expensive. But yeah, like plant foods, like they're not that expensive. Like bananas as a staple is important, I think, and also like seeking out uh buying at different places and not just one place, because if you're buying at just one place, you could be stuck with like really expensive prices. So like looking around and looking for the best deals, I think is really important to like make sure you're not spending a whole bunch of money. But like I also don't really care about what I spend on what I eat, because like it's for my health, and that just means that I don't need to spend it on like medications and drugs when I'm older. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no kidding. That's definitely a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are there certain foods you find yourself eating more than others?
Um, well, right now, like I like to eat seasonally, so I'm eating a lot of oranges right now, even though they don't grow in this uh, Arctic land. I think that eating seasonally based on when like a fruit or vegetable is available. So oranges right now are in season, so I'm eating a lot of oranges, and bananas I eat like all year round. avocados right now. I think avocados are generally in season all year round, but I like to eat them in winter because uh, it's like extra fat. Like in winter, I generally tend to eat more fatty things because it acts as like a insulation for protecting from the cold. Um, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to mangoes coming out in March. That's definitely a staple food of mine when March hits and through until summer.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
mangoes too, so
Yeah, they're super yummy.
I totally understand.
They're super awesome.
Yes. So, what are some simple substitution suggestions that you would recommend?
Um, Substitutions, like say if you're somebody who craves a lot of sugar, like sugary things, to just maybe eat more fruit throughout the day because our innate desire for sweet things is usually based around uh, our need for glucose, which is like naturally what we would eat back in the day, like things that provide our body with glucose, like fruit and like root vegetables. And um, nowadays we're like given like refined sugary treats and things that like which like our body desires, but only because we're not eating enough of the things that we're supposed to be eating. So um, that's one swap I would do. If you like table salt, then definitely switch to like Himalayan salt, or like seaweed is like a natural salty thing, like dulse is pretty salty. Even celery juice, like drinking celery juice provides the body with like natural cell salts, like so ones that we need instead of like having a refined version of it. Um, and even like you could use like lettuce as a wrap for uh, if you want to like make a wrap out of um, like a tortilla or something, you could use lettuce if you want. Like I use that quite a bit. And also like I don't promote like the consumption of wheat very much because like I know for myself that like I don't even have celiac. I don't feel good when I eat it. And um yeah, so those are some simple things you could swap out.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So, how do you find much information for all your articles?
Where I get my information?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's I get a lot of my information from just even my own education or like things that I've learned throughout the years. So a lot of this stuff is just in my head and I know it. But if I want to like resource back to something like making a claim about a study, then I usually like link back to um, scholarly articles like from PubMed or all of the journals online. You can easily find like information on Google Scholar and we'll link back to websites like that. And yeah, just like information that I either read like in books or stuff that I've learned throughout the years, or even just like personal experience is where I get my knowledge from.
Oh, yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, you also separated in three sections, because you have the live section, you have the love section, and the fruit section.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Um, yeah. So like the live section is like what I like my name, live love fruit, like that's I base it around like live. So like your like diet and lifestyle and wellness, and then love is like relationships, spirituality, and like um own like your own personal growth. And then fruit is like herbs and remedies and like health benefits of different foods and like food education. So um that's how I made those little sections come about on my website.
Oh, yeah, no, that's actually very nice. And so,
Yeah.
how do you create all the recipes?
The recipes are like basically just what I make in the kitchen. Like if I want to create something, then I'll make it and then I'll write a post about it. And I usually like construct it based around like what fruit and vegetables provide different. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. I just gotta have to stop you here 1 second.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Can you go back a
Yeah.
little bit and repeat
Yeah.
all that?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so the question was
Oh, how did you get all the recipes?
oh, the recipes, yeah. So the recipes I make is based on my own inspiration and also like hold on, I'm just gonna um my own inspiration and uh like kind of designing the recipes based around what ingredients I'll be using and what benefits the ingredients provide. Like what they will provide to the body. So if I add like turmeric into a juice or a smoothie, then that's like for inflammation. Or if I add beets, then that's for like lowering your blood pressure or helping build your blood. So it's kind of based around what the different fruit and vegetables provide to the body. So that's kind of how I do it.
Oh, yeah, that's actually very neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much has a difference has all of this made on your skin?
I think it's definitely helped. Like aside from the incidents that happened with going off birth control, like I rarely get any blemishes. I have never really suffered. Like my skin is super soft. It used to be like a little bit more rough back when I used to eat like meat and dairy and stuff, but it's like really soft. Like if somebody ever touches my hand, they'll be like, "Oh, you have such soft hands." So I'm like, "Yeah, and I just say I'm vegan. But yeah, I think it's just uh, I think it's mainly because like when we eat like a standard American diet, like with lots of processed foods and cooked foods, then our liver and kidneys are a little bit more overwhelmed with like processing what's going through them. And so being on a raw diet or a vegan diet really helps because your liver and kidneys don't have to work as hard trying to get out the things that shouldn't be in the body, like things that our body doesn't recognize. So I think that definitely helps a lot. And that's probably why my skin is pretty clear. And like there's a lot of like vegans and raw vegans like online and all of their skin looks pretty great. So
Yeah, no, I think I remember I saw from some pictures on your website about how it completely removes cellulite as well, or if that wasn't you, I'm not sure.
um yeah, like um it might have been me. I've definitely heard about it. Like I've never suffered from cellulite, so I'm not I can't say from experience, but it definitely does help like the lymphatic system. Like if your lymphatic system is clogged, then you're more likely than not going to have cellulite. And so being on a raw diet again helps like the lymphatic system flow freely because when you're eating a lot of processed foods like from a standard American diet, then the lymphatic system again is like clogged up, just like every other organ in the body. So I think it just kind of clears everything up a lot, like being raw.
Oh, yeah, of
Or
course.
raw and vegan. Like if you're vegan and you're eating a lot of like really processed foods and like foods that you're not supposed to be eating, then it's probably not going to work out as good. But yeah, just eating lots of like whole, fresh plant-based foods is super important.
Oh, of course, that's a great thing,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah,
yeah,
so about like, has it also helped with different things like, you probably wouldn't know this personally, like
mhm,
stretch marks or, with
yeah,
scarring anywhere or anything like that?
yeah. Um, well, from being when I used to be bigger, I do have some stretch marks, and like I've noticed that since being raw vegan and even just like vegan has helped tremendously with like how they look. Like I can't even barely see them anymore, and I think it's probably because um, of like all the antioxidants in the diet and like really helps to repair the skin, and also um, like I was reading something about how it helps with scarring, like the silica, something in plants that like help the skin to like repair itself. is like basically it's all in there. And you're also like hydrating the skin a lot with like eating plant foods, and so that kind of like fills things out and like helps to repair, and it won't look as like dehydrated and scarish, so to say. Like, it's hard to describe, but it's definitely helped. I know a couple other people who it's helped scarring with, so it's definitely really great to eat like high raw plant-based if you're wanting to get rid of scarring on the body.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's definitely good for a lot of people to learn and know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, of course. And I remember I read from your website about how it actually changed your eye color too.
Yeah, like my eyes have always been like my eyes are hazel, so as you know, like hazel eyes change color with like different sunlight and different, like they're constantly changing and shifting. But I think that going raw has like cleared up the whites of my eyes, like the white part of it, and so just clearing up that in itself would help like make the color more intense. And also like comparing my irises from like previous pictures to now, like I notice differences that um, show that like there's different areas that have like cleaned up, like the lines are tighter. If anybody's into like iridology, then it kind of explains it in there. But yeah, I think that my eyes have definitely, like, the bluey tint has kind of increased a lot. Like I never used to see a lot of blue, but now they're kind of like bluey gray and then green on some days, but like more often than not they're more bluish.
Yeah, no, that's actually very neat. It was very unique to learn about how it can also change the eye
Mhm.
color, you
Yeah,
know.
it's super
Yes.
interesting. There's been a couple like other raw vegans online, like Fully Raw Christina, whose eye color has changed quite a bit, and some other people. But yeah, so it's interesting. Her eyes were like totally brown and now they're like blue, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, yes, it is. It's actually very neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what are some, like, what would you say are the baby steps to help someone, to start out to try starting raw veganism?
Um, Baby steps. I would probably recommend, um, yeah, again, like including as much like raw food as you can. So again, like if you want to eat supper, like eat a salad first. If you're having lunch, like think about what kind of raw foods you can integrate into it. Like you don't need to like cook everything. Like you could add some things that are raw and some things that are cooked if you need to be. And same with like fruit. Fruit in the morning is like the best thing because your body's still kind of breaking the fast that it's been going through all night. So um, like smoothies in the morning, like that's a pretty awesome thing to have, and it'll also like help your energy levels throughout the day. If you include like like a whole like a complete smoothie, like with like bananas and like chia seeds and like almond milk or whatever you want, and then like greens in a smoothie are always really important. uh, yeah, I think those would be my tips. Just like include it, like whatever you can get raw, like just try to include it.
Yeah, so it'd have to also be eaten very seasonally.
Yeah, like if you want, like I find that fruit tastes better when it's seasonal. Like oranges in summer are not good. So yeah, I definitely recommend eating more seasonal too. And like a lot of things are like throughout the whole year are seasonal, I guess. Like avocados are generally seasonal throughout the whole year, and bananas and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so, see here, I was gonna ask something and I forgot it now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so, what do you call that?
uh
Yeah, so tell us about your free gift.
my free gift is my smoothies and juices ebook. So it basically features like my favorite juices and smoothies that I've been making over the years. And yeah, they're ones that I really like. So I think that anybody who downloads the book will like it as well.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want that free gift, be sure to also link onto the website here, and it'll also get some more information about Live Love Fruit.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm trying to think of some other questions right now because I'm trying to make this last at least 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I guess I could say that like eating greens, like making sure that you're getting enough greens in your diet, like the chlorophyll in the greens is really good for the blood, which again helps like the skin quite a bit. And yeah, so like if you do have a juicer, like making green juices, like I try to make a green juice at least once a day. Like I drink over like a liter when I make one. And like focusing a lot on like herbs, and celery is a good one. And also like making sure that your produce is as organic as it can be, because these foods are like sprayed quite a bit, and when you're eating them, you're like, even if it's sprayed like on the soil, like the plant foods are still taking it up into the cells of the plant. So like if farmers say they only spray like on the soil, like when they grow strawberries here in Manitoba, a lot of farmers say that they just spray the buds, but I'm like, well, that's going to go into the plant because it's going straight into the mud. So yeah, just eating as organic as you can will also help take off like toxin load from the liver and kidneys, so then they won't have to process detoxing as much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I guess also like one thing that I've read up and understood about veganism and vegetarianism and all, the mumbo jumbo about all of it,
Yeah.
was also the fact that you have to be very, very selective about the foods you eat and how about you go about them to make sure you get all the right nutrition base.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like I try to eat a wide variety of foods every day, because that ensures that like I'm getting different antioxidants throughout the week. And I think that like based off what I think I spent like a month inputting my food intake on Chronometer, and I was hitting like all the nutritional needs, and my diet didn't vary that much. Like I did eat different things at supper time, or like I varied my juices throughout the week. But yeah, I don't think like you don't need to be that concerned. Like I think like just for me, like if you're trying to like absorb iron from your food, for example, and you're supposed to include like a vitamin C food with it. So like if you're eating like what's high in iron, like morel mushrooms, then you should have um like a red pepper with it too. But like if I'm making a smoothie like with spinach and with oranges and then other things in there, then I know that I'm making sure that like the iron is going to be absorbed. And yeah.
Okay, yeah, because yeah, the main thing I know that is high in iron is meat. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's lots of things. I have a whole chart on my website if you want to check it out sometime.
Oh yes, absolutely. That will
Yeah.
definitely help. Especially if you want to start raw veganism out, that can definitely help out with
Oh
helping
yeah.
do that. So yes,
Yeah, definitely.
I can. I totally,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that was something to where you needed to make sure everyone had their right nutrients in order to
Hmm.
go into raw veganism, because it cannot possibly be too easy, especially for someone who's
Yeah.
never, or just jumping right in.
Yeah, totally. I think if you're eating like enough calories, like at least 2,000 calories a day, then like you're good. Like your needs are going to be met, unless if you're eating like just lettuce all day, but you wouldn't be able to meet your 2,000 calorie needs by eating lettuce. So I think just like aiming for like a decent amount and not like starving yourself. Like I don't know, I think that people who eat like 1,200 to like 1,400 calories a day is like that's like I don't think that that's enough, like in my opinion. Like I think especially if you're eating raw, like you need at least 2,000 for sure.
Oh yes, I think like 2000 is around a good staple diet for most
Yeah.
people. I
Yeah.
was kind of wanting to know because of the fact that produce naturally has substantially less, calories than, say meat or even bread.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like to where, how can you go about that? Because that's got to be a whole lot of produce to be eating every day.
Oh yeah, totally. Like if I make a smoothie, like I have like at least like 5 to 6 oranges in there, and then like I add hemp protein sometimes, and then chia seeds and bananas and dates and a bunch of spinach and spirulina. And so like by the time all is said and done, like the smoothie is probably like over like 700 or 800 calories. Like it's really easy to like get it in if you just pay attention and like just yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is definitely good to, help everyone to
Mhm.
learn,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm just more or less trying to make this last at least 30 minutes. So
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think yeah,
yeah,
54.
so yeah, because, I don't want to risk cutting it short.
Yeah,
Um,
that's no worries.
so yeah, because like we just whizzed through all the questions really fast, so I'm just trying to think of something new here.
Oh yeah. Um, um, I guess like in relation to skin, I've kind of already talked about uh like the digestive system too, like in regards to skin, like your detox organs are like your liver, your kidneys, and your digestive tract. And so when you're eating raw foods, you're also kind of clearing out whatever is in the digestive tract, because when people eat a lot of um, wheat and meat, then like those things get stuck in the digestive tract and they stay there and they like fester and they kind of rot in the digestive tract, to make it simple. And we don't have like our digestive tracts are not as short as like a carnivore, so like ours are like ridiculously long, and so it takes a super long time for that stuff to exit out. And so when you eat like a more raw vegan diet, like those foods digest so quickly that you're going to the bathroom more often and you're not constipated. And uh, when your digestive system is working well, then your skin is going to look better, because um, you're not having things being reabsorbed into the bloodstream from the intestine, which is usually what happens when things stay in there for too long when they shouldn't be. And having that reabsorb into the bloodstream like reflects in how good your skin is going to look. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So also like, so yes, especially for someone whose, gut is really, really bad, let's say,
Mhm.
they've, been eating meat, eating carbs, eating all that junk food, whatever. Like
Yeah.
how long would you say it would take for them to clear their gut if they suddenly just started, raw veganism right away?
Um, I think it would take a while. Like I think like you can have like mucoid plaques like build up in the digestive tract for like, and take it like have it for years to come out of your digestive tract. So when um I like water fasted, I water fasted quite a bit in my life, like over 10 days and like multiple times in a year. And each one of those times that I did it, I would go to the bathroom, and um I would have like mucoid plaques come out of me, like these like really hard like things that had been stuck in my digestive tract for so long. Even after being raw for like years, there were still things that were sitting in there. And I think that doing like even colonics and enemas, if you're going into a raw or vegan diet, would really help flush things out in the beginning if you're wanting to like really clear out your intestinal tract for sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, that's definitely something that's going to be very helpful to learn and to gain
Yeah.
knowledge. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just also because I mean it took you 2 to 3 months, but you were already vegetarianism. So
Yeah. I was vegetarian
yeah, vegetarian.
for quite a while, and then vegan, then raw vegan. So I hadn't been eating meat for that long. But like
Yeah.
even like eating wheat was like that stuff like really sticks to the intestinal wall. So that's like a big factor in um, you're wanting to like if you're wanting to like clean out your digestive tract, like stopping wheat for a little bit and seeing how you feel is definitely recommended.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
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 But yes, I hope we have enough information here. And
Yeah, totally.
yeah, I guess we'll have to see. We just ended up whizzing through everything so fast.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I'll just go ahead and try to finish here. So
Yeah.
yes, that's all the time that we have for our show today. But yes, thank you so much for being here, Carly.
Yeah, thank you for having me.